Well, it started out as a routine fishing trip, turned into something special for a Minnesota angler.
Pulled it in, it felt extra heavy this time, so I was like, okay, this is a good one. And got it in and seeing the two mouths on it.
From monstrous glowing fish to creatures with no face, the deep sea hides beings you'd never believe exist until fishermen and submersibles bring them into the light.
Bizarre creatures, colossal catches, and unbelievable encounters.
Some stare back with cartoon eyes.
Oh my god. Oh, is it one of those?
Others unfold jaws like balloons. But nothing will prepare you for what happens over 3,000 feet down, when a floating shape suddenly transforms into a whole different species in front of the camera.
This faceless fish is just one of the specimens brought to the surface.
Faceless fish was last seen near Papua New Guinea in 1873.
Number 11. Faceless fish. When the faceless fish came up from nearly 13,000 feet beneath the sea, there was a pause, like the ocean had sent up something it never meant for us to see. Its body was pale and soft, its skin smooth. No visible eyes, no defined face. Just a mouth tucked underneath its head in a form that seemed to defy identity. Scientists on board the RV Investigator pulled it from the dark off New South Wales, and though they knew its name, Typhlonis nasus, they still stared in disbelief. It hadn't been seen in Australian waters for more than 100 years. The truth? It has eyes. They're just hidden deep beneath the skin, where light cannot reach. And because of this, they serve almost no purpose. These buried eyes are vestigial, evolutionary leftovers that hint at a time when their ancestors likely lived in shallower, brighter waters. But at the crushing depths this species now calls home, between nearly 4,000 and 4,400 meters, vision becomes irrelevant. Instead, the faceless fish relies on other senses, vibrations in the sediment, chemical cues in the water, and pressure-sensitive nerves to survive and hunt. Its strange features are not deformities, they're survival. A downward mouth makes feeding easier in sediment. Social media called it a ghost fish, a blank slate, an omen. People projected meaning onto the empty face, interpreting the unknown through emotion. Number 10. Napoleon fish. The Napoleon fish doesn't charge or shock like the coffin ray. It does something rarer. It simply appears, huge, royal, and calm. Pulled from a deep reef slope, its skin glows iridescent blue-green as sunlight flickers across its scales. Its most striking feature, a prominent forehead hump, rises like a crown, earning it the title Napoleon. But this isn't just for show. Adults can grow over 2 meters long and weigh more than 180 kilograms. Divers describe it as a shadow moving like a submarine, slow but certain. One log recorded a shape like a Volkswagen Beetle approaching through reef haze. Only it wasn't a machine. It was the fish. When brought to the surface, myths begin. Some say the fish looks up at its captors, giving a slow, knowing glance, as if aware it's no longer in its world. Others claim it recognizes human shadows, showing no panic, just quiet observation. In protected zones, divers report these fish swimming close, brushing past, even letting themselves be touched. But don't mistake its composure for invulnerability. This species lives long, up to 30 years, and grows slowly, maturing only after 4 to 6. Overfishing has put them at risk, and just when the water settles, the unexpected happens again. Number 9. Alien-looking creature. Not everything that rises from the deep needs to be touched. Sometimes just watching is enough to shake what we think we know. Off the eastern coast of Africa, a remote submersible spotted something that didn't stay in one shape. At over 3,700 feet down, the ROV caught it floating calmly, until the thrusters stirred the water. And then it shifted. The shape moved. A smooth, glowing body twisted in on itself. Lights shimmered across its surface in bursts. One moment it looked like an ancient emblem, the next, like a living neon ripple. Viewers called it the most alien thing ever seen. But not alien in the space movie way. Alien in the way it behaved. Strange, unclassified, unfamiliar. Scientists suggest it could be a type of comb jelly, a known phylum that refracts light through rows of moving cilia. The dazzling colors might have been reflections, artifacts of the ROV's lamps and the camera's angle. But what threw people off was how fast it seemed to transform. Some swore it changed shape in real time. Others thought it was reacting, breathing, thinking. There's no confirmed ID, no retrieved specimen, and no peer-reviewed paper to anchor the viral footage. Yet that video left an impression. Number 8. Coffin ray. Some creatures weren't meant to be seen in daylight. The coffin ray, found only around Australia's shores, is one of them. Pulled slowly from the seafloor, where it lies buried in sand, this strange being reveals a body shaped like a disc, a tiny-eyed face and a mouth capable of swallowing something larger than itself. Divers speak of it as if it's alive with defiance, because just before breaking the surface, this ray sends a jolt, up to 200 volts, through the line or net. One diver recalled tingling arms after brushing its pectoral fins, a sensation that felt more like a message than a warning. Myth says it gives a final shock to protest its capture. Science says it's just its defense. But when it happens in that moment, right at the boundary between sea and air, it feels personal. Its name, coffin ray, often spooks the unprepared, but it's not an omen. It comes from the way the ray's body swells when stranded, coffin-shaped, bloated, and still. But when it's pulled from a silent gully deep below, that transformation into a visible, pulsing, electric creature leaves a mark on those watching. Number 7. Sarcastic fringehead. Beneath the rocky crevices along the Pacific coast, the sarcastic fringehead waits, not deep in miles of darkness, but in tight, shallow spaces that feel just as hidden. It's a small fish, barely a foot long, mottled in brown and gray, often living in discarded bottles, empty shells, or gaps in reef walls. And then, without warning, it opens its mouth, and the world changes. When pulled from its den by a diver or camera probe, the fringehead doesn't flee. It flares. Its mouth expands outward, shockingly wide, revealing a bright yellow interior and frilled projections over the eyes called cirri. For a second, the fish transforms from unnoticed to unforgettable. It's not attacking, it's performing. Some say this gesture is sarcasm made flesh, a mocking yawn, a showy display. That's where the name comes from. Others whisper that it talks with its mouth, telling you it doesn't want to be disturbed. The truth? This dramatic flare is a territorial warning, a challenge usually meant for other males, not people. But when that mouth opens after being lifted from a rock crevice, it's hard not to feel like the message is meant for you. Unlike others pulled from the deep, the fringehead doesn't rely on bioluminescence or silent shape-shifting. Number 6. Googly-eyed stubby squid. Nestled in the cold sediment off California's coast, the stubby squid barely moved as the ROV's light beams swept across it. Its small body, just 11 centimeters long, was dotted with reddish-brown patterns and coated in a thin layer of mucus. But it was the eyes, those wide, shining, motionless eyes, that made the crew lean closer. One voice over the feed whispered, "His eyes look painted on." And for a moment, no one blinked. The stubby squid belongs to the deep, usually living between 20 and 370 meters down, though it has been recorded as deep as 900. It buries most of its body in the sand, leaving only its googly eyes exposed, scanning for prey. When disturbed and gently raised, its skin can pulse with subtle color changes, reacting to light and pressure. The squid doesn't run, it stares. That single moment, eyes glowing under artificial light, sparked a flood of reactions. Viewers joked it looked like a toy or a character from an animated film. Some called it an alien pet. A few even questioned if it was real. Number 5. Gulper eel balloons. Down where light never reaches and pressure could crush steel, a black ribbon glides through the dark. Then, without warning, it inflates. The Gulper eel, known to science as Eurypharynx pelicanoides, stunned researchers when a juvenile was recorded ballooning its enormous jaw into a pitch-black pouch. The event was captured by the EV Nautilus in the Papahanaumokuakea Marine National Monument on a September day in 2018. A voice over the feed simply gasped, "Big gulp!" The eel's mouth can expand to swallow prey nearly as large as its own body. At depths between 500 and 3,000 meters, that's not just dramatic, it's survival. With a tail that glows pink at the tip, the eel may lure creatures in close before snapping shut. But the ballooning? That's different. Some biologists suggest it's a bluff, a sudden show of size to confuse or scare threats. Others think it's a way to trap prey. What's certain is that few had seen it in action until that day. Its body is long and thread-like, its skin darker than night, absorbing over 99% of light. It has no swim bladder, tiny eyes, and a presence that feels otherworldly. But the ballooning jaw turns this already eerie eel into something unforgettable. In a space where form usually follows function, this display looks like a flourish. And when it deflates, folding itself back into its sleek shadow form, the deep swallows it again. But the moment lingers, one breath, one swell, one blink of movement in a silent world. Number 4. Eye-catching translucent tunicate and sea cucumber. At depths beyond 2,700 meters in the Gulf of Mexico, researchers recorded Enypniastes eximia, a transparent-bodied sea cucumber sometimes called the headless chicken monster. Its gelatinous body glided just above the ocean floor, its inner organs softly visible through its clear flesh. It didn't fight the current, it moved with it, hovering like a phantom. In another dive, deeper still, 3,500 to over 5,000 meters down, a tunicate was spotted, nearly invisible but pulsing gently. One of the team's notes simply said, "Living crystal." But these aren't fiction, they're survival machines. The sea cucumber feeds on marine snow, tiny particles falling from far above, while staying nearly neutrally buoyant to save energy. The tunicate, a relative of vertebrates, wears a jelly-like tunic and clings to the seafloor or drifts with purpose. They thrive in pressure that would crush most life, in darkness where eyes are useless. And yet, through their transparency, we see their world. Slow digestion, simple rhythms, quiet endurance. Some say they vanish when touched. Others believe they are illusions. But science reveals that these ghostly forms are part of a hidden ecosystem, a realm of lightless elegance. When pulled upward, even slightly, their bodies flicker with the surreal grace of something not made for surface eyes. Number 3. The strawberry squid. Not all mysteries of the deep wear darkness. Some shimmer in red and stare back with two very different eyes. On March 23, 2022, at a depth of over 2,300 feet in Monterey Canyon, researchers aboard the ROV Doc Ricketts spotted a drifting figure, the strawberry squid. Its body, about 13 centimeters long, glowed crimson, studded with tiny light-producing organs that looked like seeds dotting the surface of a strawberry. But it wasn't the color that stopped scientists. It was the eyes. The left was large, round, and bright yellow, pointed upward toward the fading sunlight. The right was small, dim, and bluish, angled downward into black. For decades, the mismatch puzzled marine biologists. Some claimed the eyes were deformed, others said it was evolution gone wrong. But then came the truth. Research led by Katie Thomas at Duke University confirmed what now feels obvious. The squid evolved two different eyes for two different tasks. The large eye captures silhouettes of prey above. The smaller one detects bioluminescent flashes below. Two worlds, one head. It didn't flee when filmed, it drifted, its fins moving in slow rhythm, as though dancing through twilight. It wasn't caught or pulled aboard, but the ROV's footage lifted it into light just the same. Some viewers thought it looked curious. Others called it alien. But what it showed us was balance. Between dark and light, survival and beauty, function and wonder. Number 2. Sea lamprey. Some creatures are so old, pulling one from the deep feels like shaking hands with prehistory. The sea lamprey, Petromyzon marinus, has been around for more than 340 million years. Its body is eel-like, but it isn't an eel. It has no jaws, no bones, and no scales. Just a long, slippery form and a mouth that speaks in circles. A suction disc lined with sharp, concentric teeth. One quiet morning during a freshwater lake survey, researchers pulled up a single adult lamprey. Slick with cold water, its 7 gill openings on each side fluttered slightly as it adjusted to the surface. Its mouth, usually clamped to fish in the open ocean, opened gently, revealing the circular rings that once inspired stories of parasitic monsters and stone suckers rising under moonlight. The name Petromyzon, from Greek meaning rocksucker, feeds the myth. In local folklore, people swore the lamprey only surfaced during certain tides, drawn by the moon or storms. But science tells a quieter story. The lamprey begins life in freshwater streams buried in sediment, filtering particles for up to 5 years. After metamorphosis, it migrates to sea, feeding on the blood and fluids of fish. And when the time is right, it returns upstream to spawn and die. The truth isn't terrifying, it's incredible. This creature has survived ice ages, extinctions, and changing oceans. And when it's pulled into view today, it carries the design of a time long before the dinosaurs ever walked the earth. There's no reinvention, only continuity. Number 1. The long-nosed lancet fish. When the long-nosed lancet fish breaks the surface, it doesn't thrash. It lies still, silver and glassy, as though stunned to be seen. With a tall sail-like dorsal fin stretching down its back and long fang-like teeth jutting from a wide mouth, the lancet fish looks more imagined than real. But it is very real, and it comes from very deep. Some have been recorded as far down as 1,800 meters, where light cannot follow and pressure reshapes the rules of life. Its name, Alepisaurus ferox, means fierce, scaleless lizard. Its body is soft, slick, and scaleless, built for speed in open water but fragile when handled. It's not often caught, and when it is, scientists don't just study it, they study what's inside it. The lancet fish eats almost everything it can catch: squid, fish, crustaceans, even other lancet fish. And because digestion is slow at those depths, stomach contents are often preserved. It becomes a living archive of deep-sea biodiversity. One landed specimen in La Jolla, California, on December 1, 2021, marked only the 17th recorded there since 1947. But every time one washes ashore or is pulled up on a line, stories start again. Myths say its arrival means a disturbance in the sea, that something below shifted, and the lancetfish came to warn. The facts are simpler, but no less stunning. A predator built for survival in pitch-black waters, with ancient design and modern mystery. Its bones are soft, its eyes stay open, and its sudden appearance always raises questions. Which of these shocked you the most? And do you believe we've only scratched the surface? Drop your thoughts in the comments and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.